Bitcoin just had the highest monthly close since May of 2022. This is huge and you want to be paying attention. What is up, guys? It is November the 1st. There's just 2 months left of 2023. We had a massive green October. Uptober indeed ended up playing out. So are we going to get MOONVEMBER and MOONCEMBER? Are we going to continue higher? Keep watching, because in this video I'm going to break down a lot of different data points. I'm going to share with you my thoughts on the charts and levels that I'm watching and what you need to know for the next few weeks ahead. Real quick before we get started, since it is November the 1st, we have Black Friday coming up at the end of this month. So for the whole month of November, I am actually already holding my Black Friday special offer. If you are not yet a member of my VIP crypto membership, then this is the best deal and the best time to get involved. As you can see, price is going up. Okay, we have 2024 ahead of us. I've been breaking this down in my previous videos. I'll share more thoughts in this video, but basically things are lining up for a potential major bull cycle in 2024, and the easiest and best way to make money with crypto is simply by getting involved early. It's by buying low, getting in before the masses get in, and then when the euphoria comes and everyone is only starting to get interested, that's when you want to sell. The real winners are the early birds. So if you are not yet in my VIP membership, come and join. It gives you access to all my training, all my courses, all my research, my ongoing daily, weekly, and monthly updates, access to our Discord community where you have direct access to me and more than 2,000 members from around the world. We're all in there. I'm sharing my thoughts, market insights, charts, personal trade movements, personal trade setups in there in real time on a daily basis. So if you want the best chance of success, come and join in VIP. And as always, it is completely risk-free. I give an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee. So come and sign up. And even if you end up deciding it's not for you, you have a full 60 days to get access to everything. Nothing is held back. Come and join, ask questions. And if you're not happy, you can get your money back in full. The link is in the description down below. So check that out and let's continue with the video. So starting out over here with the Bitcoin monthly returns, you can see October was green. October, 28.52%. Very, very nice. The 5th consecutive green October in a row. Now, you can see also one thing that I pointed out last month actually is that with September itself, you can see we only had 2 green Septembers here in 2015, 2016. All the rest were red. And you can see in those 2 green ones, what happened? We had 3 green months that followed it. So we had a green September this year, the first one in 6 years. We had a green October. Are we going to get a green November and a green December just like we have historically? This pattern has played out in the past. And I must say the charts are still looking bullish, so that might end up actually playing out in that way. Now, as you can see over here, Bitcoin is at 34,456, massive green candle. Now, before I share with you this month's analysis and prediction, let's look at what I said at the beginning of October. And we fortunately did not crash in September. Actually, if you look here, this is the monthly chart with the 50 simple moving average. And you can see this is important because it held the support in the 2018 bear market lows and the 2020 crash. And while we broke back below it, we got above it over here at the beginning of the year. We dropped back to it, and instead of breaking down, last month anyways, we managed to get a green month here, close ever so slightly above. And so far, I mean, we've only just started October, but we're already seeing a bit of a green month. So is it possible that the 50 MA on the monthly held as support, that September was the lows, and from here, we're going up, as potentially the historic returns have suggested? When we get a green September, that October, November, and December are all green. So as you can see, we did indeed get an October. The 50 monthly average on here held as support, which was what I was looking for. We got a massive green candle, and as you can see, there's just simply strength behind this. So if you are bearish still at this point, I don't know what you are basing that on. If you're following the charts, all the signs here are bull, okay? And I shared that last month already when we reclaimed the 3-day 50 MA with 2 consecutive closes above it. That's simply a long-term bull signal. We reclaimed the 200-week moving average, which you will see in a second. That is also a long-term bull signal. We are above the 50 MA. We've got a massive, strong green candle here. And sure, while we can still get pullbacks, of course, right? It can still drop maybe even a couple $1,000s intra-month, intra-week. Sure, but this trend is up, this trend is bullish, and it has been since January of this year. And what we have ahead of us is potentially an ETF approval. Again, Bloomberg analysts are saying 90% approval prediction for the spot ETF. If that happens, there's probably going to be multiple that are going to be approved, and that could potentially happen within the next few weeks or the next few months. Then, on top of that, we have had 2 years of bear market, 2 years of downward price action. We got a lot of all the garbage that was flushed out. Exchanges went bankrupt, protocols went under, fraud was revealed, okay? And that is behind us. We've had 2 years downward price action, sideways movement, accumulation, which means the 4-year cycle could be in play. And of course, we have the Bitcoin halving in April. So there were a ton of bullish factors here for crypto. The charts are showing it fundamentally, cycle-wise, and this is just looking promising. So, I'm bullish here until we get invalidation of these high time frame signals. Now, if I was looking at this chart and this was a low time frame chart, okay, if this was a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, and I saw this kind of price action, my idea here immediately would be, okay, you see these highs over here, that is likely to get taken out, right? So if this was a lower time frame chart, I would be looking for at least something like that. And what does that line up with? Well, that lines up perfectly with our Fibonacci golden pocket, as you can see over here. So I recently made that video where I said that upside target, very likely, in this bullish trend is 48 to 53,000, which is perfectly this zone. And I still think that's on track. And how long it takes to get there, I don't know. I mean, yes, we can get some surprise if we get a Bitcoin ETF approved and it could go there in a month, but more likely it's going to take probably a couple months. But keep in mind the halving is only in April of next year, so we have that time. Maybe it hangs around here a bit, but I would say potentially by April, as long as obviously this bullish trend continues, there's a point where there's invalidation, which I will cover in a second. That's if we lose the key EMAs. But until then, this trend is bullish in my opinion. The target is this area. Now, the key thing is going to be if we get there, right? Or when we get there, what if we continue going? If we can flip this level and we don't get rejected here, right? Which is obviously also a possibility. We have to look how things are at the time and based on when it gets there also. If it takes a year to get there, then it's very different to if it takes maybe 2 or 3 months to get there, okay? But if it can flip that, then the next target is very likely going to be the all-time highs and beyond, and that is still a possibility. That is still my theory, actually, and the main one that I'm leaning towards until proven otherwise is that the 4-year cycle is repeating, but this time it is happening faster than most people think. So instead of the anticipated 4-year cycle where we only reach the all-time high in towards the end of next year and then have a bull market, a full-blown bull market in 2025, I don't think that's the case. I think we are now already in this bull market cycle. We continue higher up until the halving and then maybe even a few months beyond the halving, get a massive parabolic run and then potentially have the whole bull market peak somewhere by Q3 of next year. And the reason for that also is besides all the chart factors, the fundamentals lining up, we have the interest rate cycle, and I think there's a lot of importance to be placed on that, where they're projecting the first rate cut to start happening somewhere between June and September of next year. And if you look back, historically, I've covered this multiple times in other videos, the crash in 2001, the crash in 2008 came after the first rate cut, after a long rate hike cycle. So that is something that's very important. We have not yet had that first rate cut. Like I said, it's projected somewhere Q3 of next year. That lines up perfectly with a whole lot of confluence, other things that I don't want to get into too much now because the video is too long already. But Q3 next year, if the market pumps and we're at new all-time highs by that point, I would start getting cautious. And of course, this is just an idea. Now we will adjust that in the coming weeks and months as price develops and the chart reveals more. But big picture time frame, if that does end up playing out and we just go up only for the next 6 to 9 months and things go absolutely insane, that's something that I'm looking for at this point in time. Okay, so let's run through these things real quick because I have a lot that I want to cover and I want to keep it simple. So changing it to the weekly chart, we have the 50 MA in blue, the 200 in red. You can see the price is above both of those, and that is simply full-blown bull territory. As you can see over here, price was above, we got the whole bull market. As you can see over here, price was above, we got the 2017 bull market, and we are here. So until we get invalidated, and that is currently say about 28.5, until we get a weekly close back below 28.5, the trend is bull, we're in full-blown bull territory, and the targets are higher, most likely in my opinion here and here, so 48 to 53,000, and at that point we have to reassess. Is it potentially looking toppy for a rejection, or do we continue to flip it and continue to go parabolic to new all-time highs? And lastly, similar thing, 3-day chart, 50 MA in blue, 200 in red. We were above both. This is a full-blown bull signal. As you can see, the similar thing over here, full-blown bull, full-blown bull, full-blown bull, right? This is a very good, reliable signal on the higher time frame also. And simply, I'm bullish here until we get a close back below it, which is very similar to the 200-week moving average, 28.5. So, simply put, as long as we're above 28.5, I'm bullish. Target is 48 to 53K, and then we have to reassess, and potentially, if we can flip that level, then a new all-time highs. Now let's start out by looking at Ethereum. We keep it on the 3-day chart. You can see this is good news. Ethereum is also moving higher. It's lagging a bit. That's usual because usually first Bitcoin moves, and then after Bitcoin has had a massive move and people start getting bullish, profits flow into Ethereum and the rest of the altcoins. But Ethereum is now back above both the 3-day 50 and 200 moving average, and that is simply bullish. You can see we have been below there since May of 2022. This is a big deal, and we are now back above it. And as you can see, full-blown bull markets happen when price is above those MAs. So this is bullish. Okay, we change it to weekly. You can see similar thing. We are now back above both the 200 and the 50-week moving average. This is again just simply bullish as long as we're above there. So invalidation is simply a weekly close back below, say 1650. Until then, the move is up, and the target is very potentially here, this $3,500. Which would be this high, probably lines up with the Fibonacci golden pocket. If we flip that, then potentially new all-time highs. But let's get there first and then reassess. Let's take a quick look at the dollar index because that is important. Once again, run you through this real quick. Dollar index has typically had an inverse correlation to Bitcoin and bull markets. So when we had a multi-month downtrend in the dollar index, as you can see here, 2017 bull run, when it went up, we had our bear market. 2020 bull run, when the DXY went down, 2022 bear market. So we have seen a rally over the last 2-3 months over here. But what I'm looking for is this. I am looking for a potential rejection here in the dollar index, a reversal back down, and that gives us our crypto bull market that I'm looking for. Again, this would be somewhere with potentially this high. We have this inefficiency, this fair value gap, and the confluence of the Fibonacci golden pocket. So I think there's a lot of strong resistance here. I'm looking for it to reverse somewhere between 107 and 110, or basically between now and 110. So there is some potential here for upside in the dollar index. Lately, it seems like there's not as strong of a correlation because Bitcoin has been pumping while dollar index hasn't really gone down. But what we're looking for ideally is a big drop, a big move down, a multi-month downtrend, starting somewhere in the next 1 or 2 or 3 months, and then down for the majority of 2024, ideally back below these lows, below 100 or below 99, to give us our full-blown bull market, both in the crypto markets but also in risk assets. We very likely see the stock market go to new all-time highs if this ends up happening, if the dollar index goes on a multi-month downtrend, and probably other risk assets like gold probably continues higher too. So keep an eye on this. This is what I'm looking for in the dollar index. So finally, a quick look at the S&P 500. Since we have had the monthly close, we had 3 red monthly candles over here. But I made a separate video about this recently on the channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I am still bullish on this. I think the trend is still bullish for now, as long as we stay above, say, 3,800. The 200-week moving average also, there's confluence here. So yes, we could go a little bit lower here still on the stock markets in the short term. That might line up even with the dollar index, which I just said could still go a bit higher. But I'm looking for this to form a bottom, potentially sometime still this year, either November or December, and then still continue higher and maybe even new all-time highs, which would line up with if the dollar index goes back to 100 or lower in 2024. we probably see this melt up still in the stock markets, make a marginal new high. That's what I'm looking for. So something like this, potentially drop to the Fib Golden Pocket, the 200-week moving average, then a massive run to the upside, create a new all-time high. Everyone gets bullish because right now there's also a massive short positioning in US indices, right? And when the masses are usually positioned short, the market tends to do the opposite and liquidate them. So if most people are short now, we see that reversal. We see massive melt up. People aren't expecting that because bearish, recession, everything is so bad, blah, blah, blah. We have this melt up until maybe Q3 of next year. We see a new high, right? But we probably see an bearish RSI divergence here on monthly or on weekly. At tops, everyone gets super bullish here. Yes, recession is over. We're going to the moon, blah, 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 blah. And that is exactly when it reverses and maybe even starts a massive crash and all the way back down. And we see a 50% bear market in stocks and so on and so forth. So that is still my expectation. This is invalidated when we get a weekly close below the 200-week moving average, which is approximately around 3,900 at this point. And then one last thing that I want to share with you also is gold. Gold had a strong monthly close, as you can see over here. It actually almost bounced off the 50 MA on monthly. Once again, it did it here back in November 2022, and it did it again basically here 1 year later. Now, as you can see over here, we have a lot of resistance around this 2,000 level. But if you were to invert this chart, the rule is basically the more times it bounces on support, the more likely it is to break through. Same thing here with resistance. The more it taps the resistance, the more likely it is to eventually break through and go a bunch higher. So gold is moving slowly, but in my opinion, it does look bullish here, and it's just a matter of time before we break that $2,000 an ounce and potentially continue higher to $2,500 or $3,000. And this could move slower. Maybe this takes 1, 2, or 3 years. Who knows? So obviously, Bitcoin moves a lot faster, but again, it is looking good for gold, for crypto, potentially for the stock markets. If we see that dollar index go back down and head towards 100 or lower once again, I think we see all of this play out. Crypto bull market, gold higher, stock market higher. And then we have to be careful. That first rate cut, when it comes, is going to be a major warning sign, in my opinion, because both the 2001 and the 2008 crash happened after the first rate cut, after a long rate hike cycle. So we've had the rate hike cycle. Rates are getting very high. And once we get that first rate cut, be careful, be cautious. So if we play our cards right, we can ride this all the way up to the upside and then also make a lot of money shorting it to the downside if you know what's happening, if you know how to read these charts. And again, that is why I say come and join me inside my VIP. I've got so much training. I've got a complete 50+ lesson course about trading financial markets, not just crypto. It works for Forex, gold, stocks, everything like that. On top of that, I share my charts, my market insights, trade setups, ideas on crypto, forex, metals on an almost daily basis in real time in our Discord group. You get access to me and more than 2,000 members. All the training is there. I write a monthly newsletter, monthly video update. It is literally super valuable and has the potential to change your life at no risk because you can come and try everything up. Sign up today. I'm offering it at the best price. With the most amount of bonuses for Black Friday for this month only. After that, the price is going to increase. So the link is down below. If you're not happy with what you get, you have 60 days to just email support and ask for a refund, and you will get that back in full. No strings attached. Share this with anyone you think that needs to see it. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on Twitter. The more people that know about this before it happens, the more chance they have to actually be successful with the next crypto bull market.